Hello, Libra, and welcome to your December forecast. I hope all of you are doing great. It's really nice to have you here. I'm Nicholas Ashbaugh. This little guy behind me is Apollo, and he's going to hold some space while we do some work today. This monthly reading can be used for Sun, Rising, Moon, and Venus. I begin everything with channeled messages, and today's channeled messages really are helping you get ready for some significant movement in your life. One of the things that Spirit showed me was a step-up opportunity. Literally, I saw some steps and I saw a spotlight at the top. So to get ready for that spotlight, there are a few things to do. For some of you, you might already know what it is you're trying to step up for. There might be a work opportunity. There may be someone in your life that you need to say something to, and you need to kind of get on the level. So each step represents some internal preparation, maybe some external homework that you're going to do. So like research, practicing, and then basically this decision. The most important thing is the decision that you're ready and you're clear on how and when you want to have that conversation. I have no doubt that you can do it. And it looks like you can be very successful provided that you are doing that internal sort of deciding and building the confidence. That's what's going to basically push you over the top and make this easier. No matter what, it feels like this is the time to have those kind of pivotal conversations. Not only because we're at the end of a year, but also because we really want 2025 to be an amazing year for you. And it feels like there's just a couple of loose ends that need to be tied up so that there's nothing holding you back. There's no reason to sort of look over your shoulder and think, I could have, I would have, I should have. So if you're having any of those thoughts, if there's something on the bucket list or if there's something left unsaid or undone, now is the time to do it. And think of each step getting you closer to that spotlight moment. And ostensibly that's going to be towards the end of the month, but you're going to be ready for that. Okay? So that's message number one that came through. The other thing, this was really bizarre, but I'm just going to report because that's how it works with mediumship. I saw for some of you, there could be a friend or family member visiting. It makes sense because we have holidays that are coming through. And there was this sense of judgment from that person on your space, the way that you lived. It could also be the way that you're living your life. We could be looking at like the house of your life, your career, etc. I didn't get the sense that there was anything to be ashamed of from your perspective, but sometimes we just can't meet the expectations of others because they're unrealistic, because they're projecting what, they think we should do, even if we're happy. So the most important thing, Libra, is do you feel at home, in your life, in your job, in your relationship? If you're checking yeses to these questions, then good for you. And if there's someone in your life that just can't or won't see that you're doing great, that is more a reflection of their own inner struggles and issues, and they're projecting those onto you. In this situation, it was really clear. Again, I'm just going to report what I'm getting. It would be better if they don't stay with you. So this is also sometimes as you get older and there's friends or family that just, you've grown apart from a bit. It's better if they have their own space and you have your own space and you limit the amount of interaction that you're going to do. This is going to keep it healthier. It's going to keep boundaries more intact. And at the end of the day, possibly save that, relationship. Now let's move on to the next thing. That was just a little intricacy with some relationships here. The other thing was this sense of don't miss out. That's what Spirit was saying. Not a fear of missing out, but I saw like this group picture, a group of people getting together, and it felt like there's either a great networking opportunity or there's some people calling you forth and saying, we'd like you to be a part of this. It did feel like you might be stepping out of your comfort zone a little bit, yet it's exactly what you should be doing. So I'm excited for you because it feels like if we combine the first and the last message, the step-up opportunity and the group sort of selfie, it feels like there's something to celebrate, and there could be some like new people coming in. It's not a relationship. I saw like a group of people So as we look at the cards, we'll look for those networking opportunities, we'll look for the step up, and we'll look and see if there's someone that is sort of projecting their own fears or anxieties on you, and maybe how to deal with that. With that being said, let's give the cards a shuffle and see what's coming through. All right, Libra, let's take a moment now to clear our minds. Imagine, if you will, that you're watching the setting sun. Brilliant streams of golden light are wrapping around your body, making you feel safe, grounding you to this planet, allowing you now to call in angels, spirit guides, and ascended masters. Let's welcome in the highest guidance and let go of any preconceived ideas while we're doing that. All right, let's begin. I have to say, this is a fascinating spread because everything to the right is upright, and then we have some significant shifts to deal with here where there's a lot of reversals. But we're going to trust the process and see how it all comes out here as we continue to get these cards laid on the table. Okay, let's get started. All right, in the catalyst, we have a really beautifully illustrated card here, the outsider. And I think we've all felt like this from time to time. Why can't I get that? Why won't you let me in? There could have been something in the past where there was a person that didn't accept you into the group. Maybe there was a family member that wasn't able to support you in the way that you needed. And there's a little piece of you wondering, were they right? No, they weren't. Let's look at the origins of this card. So this is Osho Zen Tarot. Rainbows are the same as pentacles. And so we have this feeling of, again, feeling like we can't fit in somewhere because we're not somehow worthy or ready. And if you look at this on the Lightseer's deck, there's an even closer parallel between these two, which is sometimes the key is right here, right behind the person, but they're lost in emotion. They're lost in this feeling of, can I, should I, will I be able to do this? So the first message from Spirit is you're no longer the outsider. And it's not always the worst thing to be someone that doesn't fit in. We can look at it from that perspective, and it actually can be your asset. Because the thing that makes you stand out, that makes you shine, can also open doors of opportunity. I like to look at rejection as protection and redirection. So whoever or whatever that door was that was closed, either you weren't ready or it wasn't the right match, like you deserved more, right? So now you're at a point where hopefully you're able to see your worth, because this card can represent either low self-esteem or personal doubt. We don't have room for that right now because opportunity is knocking. And you have the key, you just have to use it, you have to believe it, okay? And I like how these illustrations are focusing more on just the person, just you, not the other person that wasn't able to give you what you wanted, okay? So let's take a look at the overarching spread and see how and when this sort of outsider energy may come in and create some challenges, and how to deal with it when and if it does. So, wow, this is a powerful month. The Tower is touching all of the reversals, and everything on the right is upright. That's so cool. We got a very special card here, the Travelers. The Travelers is connected to something that needs to be resolved. And we'll talk more about that in a few moments. What I do love about this spread is Three of Pentacles represents recognition. Knight of Pentacles is money or opportunity. Nine of Wands is getting close to finishing something. And the Magician is great. Suffice it to say, everything on this side is fantastic. Let's just take it card by card so we can help you embrace those opportunities. Your center card is the Five of Swords. It is reversed, but let's take a look at this really beautiful illustration and break it down. This is the only Five of Swords where I've seen a mummy on it, and basically mummies are interesting because they can't progress to the next phase. They're undead, right? So they're stuck between two different places, the past and the future. And the most important thing in this moment in time is to release possibly someone or something that is holding you in that stasis. Five of Swords. Who and what can it be? It can be our inner voice saying something like this: you're not ready, you're not worthy, it won't happen. It's basically overly critical language that doesn't make room for the possibilities. This can also be, of course, a friend, a family member, or even a boss. And no matter what you do to try to please them, they're always coming back with something critical. You can and should do better, and you're hopefully choosing in this moment not to take the bait. Now, interestingly enough, there could also be a turning of tables here where you have a chance to heal, because we have the Travelers, which basically represents the past, and the Lovers. So there could have been a falling out between you and a very close family member or friend, someone that you love, and it's like, you know what? I don't want to fight. Like that Tina Turner song, I don't want to fight anymore. And you're choosing now to change the dynamic here. And you're going to reorganize the power dynamic here and say, I understand where you're coming from, but this isn't something that I can do anymore. You're going to put a line in the sand, have better boundaries, and let it go. Let bygones be bygones. Because just a, Cliff's Notes for the Five of Swords, you can't win with this energy. The way to win is to release it, to heal yourself, and to focus on something that's better deserving, a better use of your time and energy, okay? Avoid self-defeating thoughts. Separate yourself from people that are never happy or won't take accountability. They won't listen to common sense when it's coming straight from the source. All right, the Tower. This can also represent radical changes happening. They're not necessarily bad, because when we look at you, it's one of the most beautiful cyclical cards here. Three of Pentacles. This could be a new contract, recognition. We've got also the Knight of Pentacles in the environment. So you might be moving up in your life, moving on, moving up, moving forward. But you have to cut ties with someone or something, even a thought process, in order to fully make that leap of faith. The Tower can be good. Now, the Tower can also represent things that need to be sorted out. Pentacles, which we saw here, could be your money. Swords here can be, again, emotions and thoughts. So let's get finances and our emotions in order so that we have a firm foundation upon which to build new and better structures. Your home could use some, possibly for some of you, like reorganization. It doesn't always mean it's messy. There could be like feng shui opportunities for reorganization. In business, this can mean that there could be a merger happening where you work, or you just got a job, left a job, retired, or maybe were made redundant. Something big that is changing the course of the year ahead for you. It's exciting because of the way the cards look on the right. If these were flipped, I would say buckle down. There's some important things to focus on, but everything here is good. So I honestly do feel like it's about cleaning things up so you can get here. All right, the deep past. Healing. For many of you, this is healing a relationship. So the Lovers is the presenting card, but it was reversed. So there could have been someone in your life that couldn't give you what you gave them. Unrequited love, or a distant parent that just didn't know how to again, sort of be there because they might have had their own wounds. Five of Pentacles shows two people that want to be there but can't. So maybe part of this process is maturation, that big eye of providence up there, seeing it from a different view and saying, okay, you know what? I'm still learning at this age. Imagine what my parent or brother or sister or aunt must have been going through at that age. So I'm going to give them a little bit of, space and room on that. Love yourself. You have to sort of at the end of the day love, accept, and celebrate who you are, and doing so invites someone else to do the same. There could be a second chance in love. The travelers here can represent someone that is going the distance this time. There could also be new love coming into your life, and all the stuff that we've been talking about is getting you ready for that. Karmic relationships, karma in existing relationships, and then big love, positive love, but it does require a little bit of introspective work, time traveling, looking back and thinking, do I like where I'm at? Do I like who I've become? What do I want to change? How can I like myself even more by kind of like working on this area, etc. That's going to help you bring in the lover's energy. But you have to love and accept who you are. And if there's any challenges there, we all have them from time to time. This is a great thing to work on with a friend, a family member, or someone that you trust, like a doctor. Okay, Justice, it's you, Libra, but are you doing what you want? Are you doing too much? Because Justice reverse can be just one too many things going on. This is also a chance for you to make a decision. And for some of you, the decision is, I don't want that. No, because this is a very clear card when reversed. Justice reversed, sometimes Queen of Swords or Ace of Swords reversed, they all indicate needing to say something difficult, like no, in order to clear the space for something better to come through. You could also be pursuing legal action or tidying up contracts, making some changes. A reversed justice is making sure that it's balanced and fair and legal. So don't sign until you feel that way, and know that it's okay for you to diverge and go on a different path if you need to. This is your time. This is your turn. This Justice card reminds me a lot of the Two of Pentacles in the way that it's illustrated. So there's a choice, much like the Two of Pentacles, and it's okay to say yes to one and no to another, even though that means possibly disappointing one person. You're also freeing them up to find a better match, and you're allowing your energy really to go into one thing that matters the most, okay? Mostly, though, we're looking at finding and creating better balance in your life and really embodying who it is that you want to be. This is your life. You've got one life in this body to live. Let's make the most of it in this moment. Let's just take a pause here for a moment before we go to the crowning card. We had Five of Swords at the center, Five of Pentacles here in the catalyst, and now in the crowning position, we have the Five of Cups. This Five of Cups is reversed, but let's look at it in the upright position first. So when upright, the focus is on the past. When reversed, it's saying, look at who and what is here. It's the Two of Cups, which can be partnership, friendship, resources. And right above this, almost crowning the figure, is the bridge. In all Five of Cups, there's a bridge over troubled water, but the bridge is usually in the background. I feel like right now you're seeing the path, the step that you need to take. Going back to the channeled messages, we love a synchronicity. So I think it's just a matter of deciding when to take the first step. And also to maybe just forgive yourself. It's the hardest thing to do, right? But forgive yourself for making some sort of a decision in the past, because maybe you needed to go through something in order to really wrap your head around what a beautiful opportunity there might be right in front of you. Pain as a teacher, disappointment as a teacher, rejection as a teacher, but you don't need them anymore. And we're seeing all of them fall away. That's why the reversals are here. So focus on taking that next step and look around. See who's been there all along. These two cups represent an ally, a friend, a bestie, someone who didn't need things to be perfect. They were okay when things were messy. They're okay when things are great. That's your true friend. And even if you don't have someone now, it feels like someone's coming in to your life now. So you receive the Nine of Cups, which is a punctuated card. When things are great, they feel really great. When they're challenging, sometimes they feel overwhelming. The challenge this month is going to be trying to get in the middle a little bit and not let the highs or lows pull you off course, basically. One general theme that we're seeing here is heightened sensitivity between this. So this is where your head's at. This is what's coming through. So we see really good news here, and we see a lot of challenge. So for some of you, you've had one of the most difficult years on record, and now brace yourself for some really good stuff. And what does that do for you? It makes you feel like, what am I supposed to do with all this? How do I make sense of it? It was just the recalibration you needed, Libra. The main thing here is to think that it can be easier in the year ahead. I know we're looking at, December, but we're also bracing for January. And so I'm already starting to see that it looks like it's going to get a little bit more stable and a little bit more predictable. So all of this transition was for a reason. That feeling of when is it going to happen gets answered soon, very soon, okay? The key thing here is not to let emotions overwhelm you. So no matter how we look at this card, you can see that emotions can block common sense, and that really is the takeaway here. So whether you're receiving it or whether you're letting it go or feeling like it's all around you, you have to ground yourself in this moment. Or, like the air sign that you are, get a bird's eye view and see it for what it is. Don't let this one day or this one thing take more time or energy than it needs to, okay? I think it's a really good month to focus on mental health. So anything that you can do that will improve that, from exercise to therapy, it's all on the table. There could be some really great news, though. This is you just can't believe it. There is disbelief, but it's exactly what you need to be focusing on right now. So believe that you're ready. Don't let this energy overwhelm you. And if you do feel overwhelmed, seek some help so that you can embrace all this opportunity that's knocking. Let me pull the blind because we have a little bit of glare, and then we're going to talk about this Three of Pentacles. Okay, so this is how I know it's probably very good news. Three of Pentacles shows a change in cycle, the way that it's illustrated here. And this is just heavy emotions. So sometimes you can have news that is so good that it makes you cry. Like, again, at a wedding or graduation, or when just something really great happens, they can be weepy tears of joy as well. By far, this is one of my favorite Three of Pentacles. We have three orcas swimming around three pentacles. There is this energy of teamwork and movement that is definitely a big part of this card. And it reminds you that a new cycle is upon you. If you've had any challenges, it's about to basically get a little bit easier, and we see a breakthrough. If you've been doing well, the message here is keep on keeping on, keep moving. And one of the things that you can do in this moment to continue to sustain the momentum is to engage with teamwork with others. The traditional Three of Pentacles is a little less fun to look at. We see someone doing work, we see some people on the side giving their comments, possibly they're working together, but it's a lot more work, right? And this one looks a lot more fun. And I think if you could be playful with whatever it is that you're doing at the moment, combining some element of either irreverence, joy, or fun, it makes the work a lot more manageable. And so that's one big thing here. For those of you that happen to be creative, whether you're a writer or you're working on publishing something or getting a curriculum out there, this is a great time to do that. Putting it into written form, getting it into circulation is key too. And you can do this in any number of ways, just like the World card. This can be through self-publication, traditional publication, handing things out. But we do see that one of the things that you want to focus on in this moment is an exchange of information or knowledge. Keep it moving. This is the time, and it's a great time to get things on paper, in writing, in a proposal format as well. This is a good card, just generally speaking, for your finances. But it's enhanced by what's coming through in the environment. This is definitely an opportunity knocking for many of you. We see the person looking at that pentacle and thinking, is this me? Do I want this? The person is being discerning here. What I like about this Knight card is he's not charging forward. He's really being mindful and present, and per the suit that this is in, grounded in his choice and in the next move that he's going to make. What's a better word for that? Strategic, right? He's being strategic. So definitely tune in and make sure that it's what you want. I love the bright sun in front of him. This is a moment where a new path is opening up. So all of the stuff that we've been talking about so far, Libra, leaving the past behind, literally here, and focusing on taking the first step, that's embraced by these two cards. change what for the better, opportunity that could have you in the weepy tears of joy, a chance to say yes to one thing, no to another, to make sure that the contract is what you want it to be. All of that is coming through. And ultimately, do you like what this next phase, what this next opportunity is offering? You should, because you've been through enough possibly that you didn't like, that now it's your turn. You're no longer an outsider. It's all coming together. Now let's look at hopes, fears, and opportunities. This is basically an encouragement not to give up. 9 of Wands shows that you're nearly there, but it's been difficult for some of you. It hasn't always been easy to get what you wanted or what you needed. In fact, as we saw, some of you have felt like you've been lacking in the past. This is no longer the case. This is no longer the case this month, Libra. There are people coming in or opportunities coming in that can change your trajectory. You have to finish what you started, though, and that is the 9 of Wands. And she's sitting there thinking, can I do this? Yes, you can. It's that final leg of a journey where you just have to kind of like push across the finish line. You want to be mindful of mental fatigue. Oftentimes in the traditional deck, we see a bandage on the head, and that can represent feeling this sense of mental frustration, fatigue, or just being burned out. The good news here is you're ending on a really high note as we look at the outcome. The Magician is about as good as you can get, because anything you put your mind to, you have a chance of hitting it out of the park. There are a couple of elements that are highlighted here. Normally we would see each represented equally, cups, wands, pentacles, and swords. But what really comes through here is perhaps an Ace of Cups. This could be something in the area of, emotional joy or relationship or creative energy. We have 3 rings here, just like the 3 orcas. It reminds me a little bit of the pentacles coming forth. So there are multiple opportunities knocking. And the key thing for you to do is to really be as discerning as possible. And I always like to remind people that it's focus and belief that empower the Magician. And I would add one more: focus, belief, and desire. Is it what you want? If you're having fun, if you're fulfilled, if you're focused, and if you believe, then this month, Libra, the doors are starting to open up for you. I'm sorry that some of you felt in the past like you were locked out, but you have the key this month. And most of what we see here, not most, all of what we see here knocking on the door is good. 3 of Pentacles, teamwork, recognition. The Knight of Pentacles, a chance to go the distance, possibly a new job, maybe someone that's interested in you taking this to the next level. A little bit of fatigue, but a chance to do it if you really, really want to do it. All right? Let's expand this even further. We're going to go first into the energy of health, and this is your mind, body, and spirit. So we have this beautiful butterfly coming through in this message here, and lo and behold, it's all about transformation. Transformation, of course, connected to the Death card in Tarot, and when we're looking at health, something needs to be released. And it makes a lot of sense here because the Justice card is reversed. Something isn't balancing out. So you may be working too much. Maybe you're overdoing it. Like, by the way, the 9 of Wands, when we're looking at exercise, just like 7 of Wands, can be pushing yourself to the point that your body is just feeling beaten up. So don't overdo it. Don't overwork, don't overdrink, don't overeat, don't overexercise. We need to find moderation, and the 9 of Cups is not a card of moderation, by the way. So one thing to avoid this month, and there's a lot of celebrations, including New Year's, don't overdo the partying element of it. And if you feel like you need to take a couple steps back because people around you, these can be people too. Someone who just can't see the positive, someone who only says things that are critical, that has a way of taking away some of the confidence that we need you to really embody here. So it's okay to say no to a family gathering or a social gathering this month. You do not need to do that. You focus on what it is that you need to feel stable and make the necessary changes. Cleaning up messes in life is important. It could be a literal mess if the house is messy. It could be reorganizing things so they flow better, cleaning up your finances, cleaning up your health. We want all of that stable so all of this can grow because you have a lot of growth potential this month. But emotions are running high with 5 of Cups and 9 of Cups. Situations around you could be changing, so you need something in your life that creates stability. The Magician can represent meditation. Whatever you need to ground yourself, that's key. Family and friends, relationships could be changing. We'll look at this more when we go into love, but things could get a little bit more intense in a relationship. There could be, for some of you, a need to separate from someone. It's kind of the extremes this month. It's either sort of building up or it's moving out. So whatever you need to feel safe, secure, and supported, that's what you want to focus on. Some of you may have headaches, difficulty in concentrating. It's not a sleep card, but I feel like it might be bubbling over into restlessness at night. So finding a way to channel any of that stress through exercise or therapy could also be good. Most of the cards are good. We just need to reclaim balance and deal with emotions here. If there is something in your body that isn't where it should be, again, this could be trying to stabilize blood pressure, blood sugar, etc. Now is the time to really focus on that as well. All right. We're going to focus, speaking of focus, we're going to move forward now and look at wealth. This is resources, life, purpose, and career. Let go of perfectionist tendencies here. We have Nuada coming through with the word perfection, and there is a time and a place for things to be as kind of like buttoned down as they should be or can be in the case of a contract, for instance. But when it comes to accomplishing things, give yourself more credit. I feel like you're already doing better than you might imagine because this only happens when you've done the work. So perfection is overrated. Are you learning from an experience? If you've learned from something, then don't beat yourself up. It was exactly what you needed to get to the next level. And that's all we need to say on that. Let's focus now in three major categories. We're going to begin with those that have a job or that work for themselves, those that are seeking employment, and then retirees and students. Focusing first on those that have a job and are working for someone that is not themselves. So there's change. I mean, there's no way to ignore the tower here. Your job description could be changing. At its best, you could be getting a raise or promotion because Three of Pentacles is recognition. Knight of Pentacles is an opportunity to grow and often comes with new responsibilities, new money. You could be feeling a little overwhelmed, but you can do this. So I definitely see a step up for some of you. There could be other, because I'm reading for a large audience here, some of you might have decided to change course, especially with the Knight in the environment. I'm tired of this. It doesn't make me happy. I can't please people. I'm working too much and I'm not getting enough back from this. In that case, you're going to steer the ship in a new direction. And this whole spread is saying, yes, just choose how and when. It's up to you. But yes, it's okay to make that change. Some of you are working in an environment that doesn't support you. It's really difficult to thrive in the tower. If you are constantly trying to figure out who's the boss, what's next, what am I supposed to be focusing on, it just kind of is, it's distracting and it's messy. So for some of you, you're deciding, I don't want this. I need something else. And again, if you're deciding to go into that path, stick around when we look at those that are seeking work. It does look like it's a good month to find new jobs and find new paths. If you just want to make the most of this period, here's what you want to avoid. Don't get caught up in arguments with someone who, again, doesn't want to take accountability or won't listen. They're kind of blind to this. They're stuck. Don't let them get you stuck as well. Focus on what you can control, not on what you can't. As much as we'd like to go back to the past and maybe relive things, sometimes nostalgia is better left there. You have done a good job, though, in creating good relationships. Continue to lean into those as this month proceeds. When you don't get too distracted, then it really does feel like you can thrive. Avoid anything that is illegal, unethical, or violating policy. Say no, bring it up to whoever needs to see it, protect yourself in that. Otherwise, everything here is growth. So weather this and focus on this and you'll be all right. If you own your own company, the tower represents a necessary change. Also reacting to market changes. It could be a volatile year ahead when we're looking at just the way that you're currently set up. So this involves looking at the contract and the structure and adjusting to the changes in market and demand. I think that the main thing here is to focus on good teamwork, good morale, and if there's something that isn't working, then it's really important to cease working on that if it is a product or service and focus more on where the growth is. But it does look like many of you could benefit by talking to your lawyer and your business advisor and saying, is this structured right for what I'm doing? Let's look at how much I've made, how much I've lost, and what changes might be coming through in the year ahead. Make sure that you're set up for that change and that you react in real time as things are starting to move. Making sure that there's a contingency as well is going to be important. Preparation, that's the main thing that I'm getting here. I do like what I see here. It looks like overall you'll be okay, provided that there's some flexibility and that you resolve anything that isn't working contractually or structurally. And that's all I have to say on that. Focusing now on those who are, looking for work, because we just talked about people who are employed or self-employed. Now, if you're looking for work, it is competitive. I do see at least one option, but it does involve possibly moving or really looking closely. There might be something that you forgot. This knight is looking at all the fine print here, and there might have been something in an email, a text, or a message that he just didn't see. So making sure that you haven't missed a communication, including looking at your spam or junk folders. Sometimes stuff gets filtered there that shouldn't. You might have a response or an invitation sitting there. It could take a little past the month. You got 3 5s here. So we're looking possibly at 5 weeks. So the first week of January is when some of this energy will pay off. Don't give up. Don't be too hard on yourself. Don't feel this sense of it's all crashing down. You're creating a foundation. You'll keep working hard to make this happen. You want to at least send out 2 or 3 applications, and we see 1 coming through, and expanding beyond geographical borders here with this particular night as I'm looking at all the rolling hills. Okay, and some of you with the Magician are looking for something that utilizes a skill set that hasn't been used before, or you're repackaging your skills. Can you find something? Yes. Could it be a little past the end of the month? Yes, especially with the holidays. It makes sense, doesn't it? So give it 5 weeks. Don't get in your headspace too much. And if there's a no, or if something doesn't work, keep focusing on other areas. There are some doors that it's not worth your time and energy because what's on the other side you may not like. So sometimes that rejection is protecting you from bad morale or a company that is unstable. Do your homework. Make sure that you know if there are, like, what's going on with their finances and what's going on with their growth, for sure, with the Tower here. And if you want to change industries, now is a great time to do that. You might decide to go back to school because this, by the way, I forget about it because of the way that it's illustrated. This is school, college, or higher learning or specialized course. And it represents mastery. And it also shows that while there, you may make some really great contacts. So absolutely, this is a very good time for training. That also includes those that are working if you want to step up. Education's coming through for all. Okay, and that's all I have to say for those that are looking for work. If you are a student, speaking of education, love, 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 love. All of this looks great. You may have just decided to study abroad, change your major, or transfer to a new university. The Tower represents massive change. Or you're on the precipice of getting your degree. Don't second guess yourself. Change is necessary sometimes for those of you that are doing that. Otherwise, let's say you like where you're at and you still have some time. I think that there could be some destabilizing forces in your life. Again, negative friends or family, and perhaps your own heightened emotions, because we are going into a period here in December where there's just a lot. And, you know, the interesting thing here, we'll talk about it more in relationships, but sometimes we just have to pull away from some of those people that can either be too critical, or maybe there's some codependencies here. You've got to focus on staying balanced, staying focused, because there's so much to embrace here. So separate yourself from those distractions. And if you need to change your course, this is the time to do it. Retirees, you may be trying to find a new purpose. This is a soul-searching card. This is a learning and teamwork card. I think one of the great things that you could do right now is to find an organization, a class, some sort of group of like-minded people where you can work on things together. It's a great time for passion projects, possibly even working or launching something new. Just because you're retired doesn't mean you can't make money or be working on something. This is also just travel in general, and getting a better understanding also of what's going on with your finances. That's also coming through. I feel like you're going to land on your feet, but there are some changes that need to be made. I think we need to look at relationships because some of it is veering in that direction. So let's move into love, which touches all types of relationships. We have a card here showing caching, which is saving things for the next season. So we have a little raven here or a crow that's putting things there for a rainy day, just like a squirrel would bury something. And what this shows me in relationships is many of you have put a lot of emotional energy in the bank. You've done a good job of investing a lot of love, time, support. And if there's something that you need, ask, because you've created this foundation that is pretty secure. And if people can't see that and aren't willing to reciprocate, they're only taking, because this can also be someone that's just taking, then it's time to recalibrate. But it's okay for you in this moment to reach out and say, would you mind helping with this? I would really appreciate it, because 9 times out of 10, you're the one giving rather than asking. So balance the scales, Libra. It's your turn. I'm really heartened by the fact that the Justice card is in the recent past. It's showing that things are starting to turn in your favor, but it does require just a little bit of communication. You know, I would have loved to see some more swords cards here, like communicative ones, not the 5 of swords. So speak up if you need something. All right, let's turn the camera down and we're going to look at 3 different relationship statuses. Those that are in a relationship, looking for love, or single and happy. All right, let's begin with those that are currently in a relationship. The Tower isn't always bad, especially when what we see here is showing growth and movement. This is a month where some of you, let's go back to the stepping metaphor earlier, are deciding possibly to step up and say, I want more, or are you ready? And we're waiting to see if the partner is also ready. So if you haven't been married yet, but you've been in a long-term relationship, notice the rings that are coming through here. It looks like it could work out. Things could work out. But it is an intense decision that both of you need to be in a good place to sort of have. And I think the challenge right now is timing. So for those of you that want to take it to the next level, if there's anything that needs to be resolved first, make sure that that's resolved. Because what I am seeing here is there's no doubt that there's deep love. But there might have been an argument or disagreement recently. There could be some hurt feelings. It's not the right time if that's what's going on. This could also simply be a fear of rejection from the past, because some of you have asked in the past for something and a person just said no. And so we can see the no here still kind of like under the surface and creating a little bit of fear. Yet we have a celebration card here. So work on recalibrating and saying, I'm ready, I'm worthy, clear the air if there's anything that needs to be healed. Then and only then should you move forward and say, I really enjoy being with you. I'm ready to take this to the next level. I see myself with you. Do you see yourself with me as well? Okay, so you need to do a little bit of work for those that want to take it next level. For everybody else, there's some changes going on. Could be celebratory, like graduation. There could be really good news coming in that just changes your trajectory. But there could be something frustrating too. So these two can be together, like a job that requires a move. Not both of you are on the same page with respect to that. So navigating change is going to be the challenge in most relationships. Let's say if you've been together, you're not looking at marriage, it's really just like, how do we deal with this? Good news can still require recalibration. The one thing that all couples can focus on, but particularly existing relationships, is constructive communication. 5 of Swords is not constructive. It's just saying something to get a rise, or it's not listening to the constructive communication. Just like the mummy here, it's stuck in one thing, and it just wants to kind of get its point across. And meanwhile, there's a bunch of carnage in the background. So we need to let go of right versus wrong. We need to try to find common interest and heal a little bit. When you do that, it's, smooth sailing here in the future. but there's a little bit in the way of maybe someone hurt their feelings, one of the partner's feelings, or said something at the wrong time, maybe just admitting, I'm sorry, that was wrong. But then don't beat the partner up or vice versa. Remember, perfection isn't the name of the game. And this, you're looking at over time. If your partner's been doing the right thing or you've been doing the right thing and there's one mistake, don't make a mountain out of a molehill, okay? All right, focusing now on everybody else here. So we just looked at those that are in a relationship. Again, could be some positive news, could just be some communication challenges. Now looking at those who are looking for love. I think you need to get your feet on the ground first because the tower can represent some significant shifts in your life. So if you just moved somewhere, just started school, need to finish something, all of that first. Then what we see is someone from the past reemerging. This time it could be different, but if there is anything here that wasn't sorted out, particularly this, like they couldn't see you or you didn't feel good around them, leave it in the past. If this is just a scar from a different situation in the past, this could just be a karmic relationship. And what we see here in this sort of spread is an earth sign coming through. And I like this earth sign. I like the Knight of Pentacles. This is someone who knows who they are. They're career driven. It feels like they want to take a journey with you. Travel is also really important to them. Are you ready? It'll move fast. Nights move quickly. The main thing that I love here is the chemistry. This is true of both existing and new relationships. This shows me that the spark, the fire is there. The only thing that's a little bizarre in this spread is I see a lot of threes, 3 rings, 3 pentacles. And so there could be a divorced partner in the mix that could complicate things a little bit, or there's a third party in the mix, possibly even just weighing in. This could be the parent or aunt or uncle that feels like they want to come between you. You choose your path. If it feels right, go for it. That's their life. Let them live their life, that parent or that guardian. You live your own life, right? I do see a card of celebration. The one thing here, though, is you could be swept off your feet. Don't make a decision if you are in that heightened emotional state. Make sure that you've given things a chance to grow and you know who you're getting involved with, okay? I'm not worried about anything. Again, I just see someone who might be separated and still on the sort of like, it could be a rebound for them or for you. Just make sure that you take it slow so you're not falling into some of the trappings of a rebound relationship. If you're single and happy, kind of ideal right now. Some of you might be going to school. Some of you might decide to travel or to focus on personal development or building something. Whatever it is that you're deciding to do, you're probably going to finish it. And we get this sense of empowerment, which is at the antithesis and opposite side of the outsider energy here. So a lot of movement in your life, personal development, financial development, and completion, all coming through. Great stuff. I really like what I see here. And if you're in this energy of being single and happy, save some time, some energy, some money for the future. Cashing is about being conservative and saving. All right, let's look at destiny. We have Sandalphon coming through. It says, building the bridge, your role is to create a connection between heaven, earth, and all hearts. So some of you might be deciding to teach. This is very much what I would expect with like Hierophant energy or High Priestess energy, sharing your learnings with others. The rainbow energy also reminds me that after sadness comes that sense of I survived. Hopefully for many of you, it could be playful energy or joy. Things are starting to turn around. Share your message with others. And we're also at a time, I like the building piece because if we go back to the 3 of Pentacles here, I mentioned this is a card of construction. If there's something in the world in general that you see lacking and you think to yourself, this needs to change, you may be that agent of change. You're going to be the one that's bringing it forth, okay? Let's go a little deeper now. We're going to go into sun, rising, and moon sign messages and see what else Spirit has to say. Sun, rising, and moon. Gosh, it's uncanny. We got another 5 here. This is a very interesting month for you, Libra. We're going to start off with sun sign messages first. I mentioned that the Justice card looked a lot like the Two of Pentacles, it wasn't an accident. So we've got it here. For Libra Sun, you have a choice to make. And try though you may, to be everywhere at once and everything to everyone, it's not feasible. There needs to be some revisions to working smarter and not trying to over deliver constantly. I feel like some of you are perfectionists. We got it in wealth. And know when enough is enough. Even though you want to be perfect, there comes a point when it doesn't actually net out as something that's worthwhile. I think it's really important to be present, to share works in progress, to let people see the diamond in the rough, just like the diamond. And that is going to maybe even endear people to you and open up new opportunities. Don't be afraid to say no. That is one thing Justice Reverse reminds you. It's okay to say no. So in the Rising and Ascendant, we have a really exciting card, Five of Wands. In and of itself, not that exciting, but the fact that all of the 5 cards came through, that is worth noting, and we'll talk about it in a second. First things first, you may find challenges in working well with others, maybe because they're too focused on competition and not enough on collaboration. Try to be the voice of reason, know when and where you can make a difference, pull back if people are not ready or willing to listen to you. Ultimately, the next card is leadership here. So this is opening you up to be a leader, and it's the quality of your work that matters most. So 5 of Wands, focus on what really, really matters. Remember, your catalyst today was the 5 of Pentacles, feeling like you're on the outside. The message was you're not. Focusing on that self-confidence is key. Your center card was 5 of Swords reversed. Don't argue with people. Don't take the bait. Crowning card was 5 of Cups reversed. As I look at it, I was like, oh, I forgot that I had flipped it around, but it was reversed at the beginning if you look at it. And so that is saying focus on the bridge, take the first step as we talked about at the beginning, and know that there are people that have had your back, that do see you for who you are. That's the energy you want to focus on, not the ones that are constantly spinning you around like this, okay? So put your mind where you really can make a difference. Look at all the different 5s that we talked about today, and at the end, emerge as 6 of Wands, which is leading by example and focusing on that inner sense of accomplishment. That's better than worrying about vying for someone's attention in the 5 of Wands. And we love this, the World. So the World connects nicely with the 3 of Pentacles. So for Libra Moon, something beautiful is happening and coming to a close this month, and the World shows you that you are perfectly primed for this moment of growth and expansion. You could be moving, you could have a great contract, an opportunity to distribute or disseminate something. You may be in the spotlight, which I saw, and it's all coming into focus now. I mentioned at the very beginning that there might be some people that we need to keep at arm's length. They came through in the form of the 5 of Swords and the 5 of Wands. Competition and critical comments without any constructive elements. Keep that at arm's length, and I really feel like you're going to thrive this month if you're ready. One last card. This can be any question that you still need an answer to. Go ahead and ask it to Spirit, and let's see what it has, or let's see what your guides have to say. I love this. I love this because the 2 of Wands is paired with the Magician. So let's talk about this pairing. 2 of Wands to a yes or no is a yes. The 2 of Wands is also reminding you to create a plan, to whether it's literally sort of putting it into writing or on a vision board or just dreaming about it and saying, I'm going to do this. Because when you take 2 of Wands and pair it with either the High Priestess or the Magician, it equals manifestation. But knowing what you want, she's holding an egg, I think, instead of a globe or a crystal ball. But knowing what you want and projecting it out there into the world makes it easier for Spirit to come through and point you in the direction of that manifestation. So yes, what you seek is possible. Keep working on it. Don't give up. Pay attention to the little details. Before you move forward, look at how her shoelaces are tied to the tree. Don't let one misstep take you off the path of success. Sometimes we trip and fall before we're able to run. And you have to learn to crawl before you walk, and then you walk, and then you run. It's a multi-step process. Keep doing it until you're kind of mastering each level, because this is mastery. It could take up to 3 times. 3rd time's a charm. We have the 3 rings there. So you've got this, Libra. Really exciting energy. And again, a confirmation that many of you have been through a lot. Allowing yourself to move beyond the different fives, I think, is the key to success this month. All right, I hope you enjoyed this. It was my pleasure to be able to channel all of this for you. If you enjoyed it, please like and subscribe and leave a comment below. Let me know what resonated, what you're working on, what you're excited about, and I love seeing all of that. You can give me a follow on social media. It's always my full name, Nicholas Ashbaugh, on all of the major platforms. I'm on emerging platforms too, like Blue Sky. The link is here. It's basically my website. nicholasashbaugh.com is actually the handle. And you can go to my website if you need links or any clarification of where to find me. You can also go to the main channel page here on YouTube, and you'll see like 13 links, and all of them are listed there. Just a quick reminder that I do not give private readings, nor do I use direct messages. So if someone's using those on social media, let me know about it. I'll block and report. If you'd like to show some love and support, you can do it through super stickers, super chat, and also through memberships. I just want to say thanks in advance for anybody that did any of that. It really does help the channel grow. Again, before I wrap up, Apollo's resting, so we're going to let him be. And I just wanted to say thank you again for your time, your support, and for being the best part of what I do here on YouTube. Take care. I'll see you soon.